at this juncture, we have Dr. Prem Singh who has joined us. So let me welcome him. Can we have the camera on, Dr. Singh, if you have joined? Can you please switch on your camera? Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I have switched on my camera.
Welcome to this third Asia SDG Roundtable, Dr. Singh.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I must compliment you that you are one of the rare IAS, who is so punctual in the time. Sorry, I mean no disrespect to other IAS, but you are before time because people generally are dot on time, but you are before time. So you're helping us manage our time very well. I want to thank you for accepting our invitation to be part of our speakers for this third Asia SDG Roundtable.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. In
yeah.
fact, I have been traveling. I was in LBSNA, which is the IAS Training Academy. And one of the
Yes,
things that I teach them is to be, punctual always.
that's right.
So I thought
How
I should be on time. Thank you so
how
much.
how lovely. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, I initially, sir, we had a round of introduction when you were not there. We have already introduced you, but let me repeat. Dr. Singh is an IAS, and he is advisor to Niti Aayog and to our overseas participants. They, of course, keep track of India. Niti Aayog is one of the most important think tank of Government of India and is a nodal body for overseeing the progress of SDGs. So Dr. Singh does a significant work in this area. Welcome to you once again, Doctor. And Dr. Singh is going to talk to us about India's model of SDG localization, which will be the Niti Aayog's perspective. By the way, it has been a unique model and a very successful one. And there's the reason I requested Dr. Singh to share with us the India's SDG model for localization. Over to you, Dr. Singh.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chauhan. I'm extremely happy to be here in galaxy of experts in the field of SDGs. One of the very path-breaking contribution that Niti Aayog has done in SDG, in addition to making it as a framework for development agenda in the entire country, is that taking SDG to the community at large, taking SDG beyond federal ministries and federal government to the states, to the cities, to the villages, and taking it to community in that sense. So I would just share my PPTs. I hope I am able to share it and you are able to see. Yes. Yeah. So I'll speak to you for about 15 minutes, and maybe
Can I,
15 minutes.
Dr. Singh, can I
Yeah.
request you to put your slide on the full mode, please? Full screen mode.
Yeah, I'll try that. And frankly speaking, I'm still on a travel, and I hope I should be able to. Yeah, is it okay now? I think I
No,
did it.
no, no, no. Don't click on the percentage part. Go back to the negative. Uh, uh,
Yeah,
and you see that arrow, two sides arrow, last top right.
got it,
Yes.
got it. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll just take you, through the journey of localization of SDGs, which is an effort by Government of India and Niti Aayog. And maybe I'll leave, last 10 to 15 minutes for discussion, and maybe some of the questions, some of the suggestions, some of the ideas, if any of the speakers they want to share with Niti Aayog.
Sure.
The framework that we use for SDG localization and monitoring this is our framework. We have a nodal agency for SDGs, which is Niti Aayog at the federal level. What we primarily do is we coordinate and supervise SDG efforts at both national and sub-national level. In addition to that, we also handhold states, union territories, municipal bodies, or even the districts in SDG adoption, implementation, and monitoring. And how do we do it? Through Niti Aayog's idea of collaborative and competitive federalism. What we do is facilitate peer learning, collaborate with the states and union territories, and create a healthy competition among various states. So we come out with SDG indices, many other indices in health, education, water resources, and bring in competition among all of them. And also, one of the very powerful thing that Niti Aayog does is we engage with civil society and community organizations at large, and also private sector. I mean, one of the initiatives that Niti Aayog takes is its whole of society approach, which our honorable Prime Minister calls Jan Bhagidari. That means whatever the efforts are, government should not be trying to do it alone. We should involve the entire society, private sector, citizens, civil society, academia, and so on and so on. Yeah. So our model of SDG localization has four pillars. The pillar number one is creating institutional ownership. Pillar number two is establishing a robust reviewing and monitoring mechanism. Pillar three is developing capacities for integrating SDGs in planning and monitoring. And finally, of course, promoting a whole of society approach. So I'll go into each one of them one by one, just to give a snapshot of what does this each pillar mean. So if you see pillar one, creating institutional ownership, uh, as I said, that we set the agenda, we raise awareness, and this awareness is not only in the ministries, bureaucracy, or political setup. It's also at the grassroots level. We build partnerships and we monitor the progress. Uh, at the level of federal ministries, at the level of parliament and state legislature, and also with the states and union territories. So this is one of the very critical pillar through which we take this journey of localization of SDG. Second is establishing a robust review and monitoring mechanism. And as I said, that it's a collaborative, healthy competition that we try to create amongst all the states. So we at Niti Aayog have developed various tools. We come up with SDG India Index and dashboard. We have also prepared a Northeast Regional District SDG Index. In fact, this is the only initiative anywhere in the world that where we have been able to create SDG index at the district level, not even at the state level. That means each of the districts, they are scored in 17 goals, SDG goals, and they are ranked where they are. We have also come up with SDG Urban Index. That means we took about 55 cities in the country, and we ranked them in SDG goals. And all this creates lots of buzz, lots of queries by the states. There is a healthy competition. It creates, capacity within the states to, refine their data, use data analytics, and it feeds back into, how do they come up with various policies, how do they, allocate budgets for various initiatives based on the kind of scores each of these states get. We also help various states for action at their level. States and district indicator framework, index for ranking districts, and also dashboards for understanding the entire initiative. The third and fourth pillar. The third pillar is about developing capacities for integrating SDG into planning and monitoring. I mean, we here at Niti Aayog realize that it is not good enough to come up with ranking, come up with data, and tell that uh, Kerala is doing very well in one indices, or Maharashtra is doing very well. XYZ state is not doing very well. We also feel that whatever data we have, whatever reports that come out from Niti Aayog, they should get integrated into planning and monitoring, uh, budgeting mechanism, coming up with policies, coming up with initiatives to, how do we improve our score in many of these SDG parameters. So that is what we do. So Niti Aayog engages with states for adoption of SDG framework in their development agenda, in their budgeting process, in their strategic long-term vision. We also progress, uh, you know, monitoring of all these indices, and if there are mid-term corrections which are required, and of course for knowledge management also. The final pillar of our approach for SDG localization is promoting whole of society approach. As I said that at Niti Aayog we are conscious of this fact that government alone is not enough for a large scale initiative like you know uh, SDGs to be taken up by various states, cities, and districts. So we involve private sector, civil society, think tanks, academia, various international organizations. In fact, all the international organizations which are in India, we have some kind of SOIs or MOUs with them, trying to understand what are the best practices in SDGs, let's say in Scandinavian countries or in Germany or in US or in other countries, and we learn from them and we try to incorporate in our own journey of SDG localization. So just to show our colleagues here, what does it look like? This is just one of the illustrations. The northeastern region district SDG index. Our friends from India and also maybe some of our international friends, they will know that the northeast of India is a very very beautiful part of the country. However, their development indices are relatively lower or lesser compared to rest of India. In fact, my cadre is Manipur, and even before I joined here as an SDG advisor, Niti Aayog had taken this initiative. The focus of Honorable Prime Minister is also to reach the areas which are least developed, go to the areas where there are more difficulties as far as achieving SDG goals or SDG targets are concerned. So this was one of the initiatives taken by Niti Aayog in collaboration with all the northeastern states and Ministry of Development of Northeast region. So I'll just show you what we did. Uh, so the objective of NER district SDG index was, trying to achieve SDG goals in this very difficult area, so that there is a balanced growth, progress monitoring and ranking tool, identify critical sectors which are where there is a gap between what ought to be and what is, uh, and also within the northeast create a buzz or create a competition. And of course, now this entire tool is being used by Ministry of Development of Northeast Region and Northeast Council for resource allocation. So this is what was the objective of this SDG India Index. So if you just see the dashboard, this is the northeastern part of the country of India, where this all the 8 states you can see, and what you see is these districts. Each of these districts has been ranked. We were able to rank about 120 districts. There were some districts which were very created, very new because of bifurcation. We were not able to do it for the first time. But in our second edition, which will be coming in next uh, couple of weeks, we will be coming up with this the ranking for the districts which we were not able to do for the first time. And very intuitively, if you see our ranking, Sikkim, Tripura, they have done slightly better compared to the other northeastern states. What was the impact of uh, doing this initiative? Uh, we were able to organize lots of workshops in northeastern states, and there, the state capacity was quite low. We were able to make sure that the states capacity at the district level, at the Department of Finance or Department of Planning level, we were able to come up. We were able to make sure that there is a nodal department now which looks after SDGs. Earlier, SDGs were being looked after on ad hoc basis by some individual officer. We ensured that now SDGs become a focus of finance department and planning department, both for resource allocation and strategic vision. The statistical system got strengthened, and of course, we were able to make sure that most of the states now their budget allocation or their program initiatives are linked to this SDG goals. Now, if and the other initiative that we did was with the states on, for SDG localization. So if we see, SDG vision document has been prepared by 22 states. I mean, which is like for a country like India, it's really really good. Almost 85% of the states have done this. Similarly, on various other areas of coordination, monitoring and reporting, budgeting, these are the number of states that have taken up the initiatives. 30 states, 32 states, 22 states. So a large number of states we have been able to make sure that they take SDG framework as a core of their development agenda. Uh, if we see budgeting, SDG linked to budget allocation is in 16 states, which is really good. Uh, that means the resource allocation has been linked with the achievement in SDG in various states, which is extremely good. So these are the various parameters and number of states which have completed this. Uh, we have been able to help all the states in creating an institutional structure, so that tomorrow when Niti Aayog, uh, does not uh, coordinate with states actively, there is an institutional structure, and it will become functionally autonomous of our push or our efforts. So a detailed institutional structure in most of the states have come up, where we have involved the state legislature itself, so that they can provide legislative oversight. A high-level committee chaired by the highest civil servants, which is chief secretary, and a proper SDG focal point within the department has been created, uh, and coordination and other initiatives in consultation with planning department and finance department. This entire institutional structure has become very vibrant and autonomous, and a self moving kind of initiative within most of the states. Uh, if we see some of the state initiative, SDG indicator framework, Uttarakhand, they have come up with their own SDG aligned to output outcome framework from some of the states that we are illustrating. We are also showing SDG budget alignment by some of the states. These are from different states. So lots of SDG localization initiatives are bearing fruits now. Many of the states coming up with this, work which was initiated about few years ago by Niti Aayog, and these are the various results that we see happening at the state level. SDG aligned to the vision, SDG district index, Punjab, they have done their own. And if we see in most of these initiatives, a UN agency, Niti Aayog, state government, it's a collaboration of many partners, which is again a very healthy initiative by various states. This is for the Gujarat state, and Gujarat has also come up with their own initiative of how they want to monitor the SDGs, how they want to use SDGs for their, budgeting and financing framework. So these are just some of the illustrations, some of the initiatives that various state governments have taken as far as SDG localization is concerned. This is by Karnataka. They have also taken up lots of initiatives. Yeah. So with this, as I said that, SDG localization in India is not just about, you know, going to the districts level or going at the state level and coming up with some reports, some data, some ranking. It is much more than that. It's about using that data, using those insights for crafting policies, coming up with new initiatives to make sure that we achieve SDG goals, which India has committed itself to by 2030. With this, I'll stop here, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, any of your questions, or if you have any suggestions, if you have any ideas which you want to share with Niti Aayog, we'll be happy to take them and incorporate in our journey of SDG localization. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Singh. What for Dr. Singh? I must say that particularly for me personally, it has been a very, very educative session because there is such a lot of work at the district level Niti Aayog is doing, and in terms of measuring the outputs. Particularly, the most important message I got from your presentation, sir, that taking SDGs to the community level, taking it beyond the ministries and taking it to the community level, Uh, you said, sir, that Niti Aayog works with the non-governmental organizations. So we had made last time, I think last year, we were privileged to have Mr. Amitabh Kant himself, also to speak at the second Asia SDG Roundtable. And we had requested, and we want to repeat this request, that Mervyn King Academy for Sustainable Development is a non-profit institution, and we would like to closely work with Niti Aayog. Our budgets are not very high, let me tell you publicly, but we would like to work in very, very limited small areas. So I would connect with you offline, and once in a year, I'm told that you do an exercise, for measuring the progress of SDGs within India, and you invite various stakeholders. We would like to be invited in that and give our inputs, as you, at the end of your talk, you asked about it. That's one. Let me also take privilege of my being a moderator to ask you the first question, sir. You said that you have created an institutional framework by way of which it's important for you to, and you have also created the dashboards at the state levels, at city level, and this state level, and the ranking you have also created. I'm curious, being from Mumbai and Maharashtra, which are the top three states in terms of progress of SDGs overall, and where is Maharashtra in that? That's question number one. And the second one, which are the top three cities in terms of progress of SDG, and where is Mumbai? So Maharashtra and Mumbai, and top three states, top three cities.
Yeah, thank you so much. So as far as your, offer of partnership is concerned, I mean, we will immediately take it up. Let me tell you, we will be extremely happy to partner with you, and we can have a formal partnership engagement through a statement of intent or MOU. So that's one. Now, second, as far as SDG India Index is concerned, in fact, our last year's scoring is in public domain. So I think the first rank of the state was Kerala, second was Tamil Nadu, and Himachal was third. And this may be 1, 2, 3 ranking. And it's in public domain. You can see in our SDG India Index, and you can see these scores. Maharashtra generally has been doing fairly well. If I'm not mistaken, it will be in the top 10. As far as SDG India Index is concerned, which is a composite index of all the 17 goals. So this is one. The second, you are saying about the cities. In fact,
Yeah,
the Maharashtra cadre officer, Mr. Kunal, he is the in charge of smart cities. He is a very critical part in our entire, SDG urban index. And whenever we are doing this SDG urban index, we have GIZ as our knowledge partner. And Kunal is since he is from Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, is a joint secretary. He is also in that committee, and I am the coordinator for this entire thing. Amongst the cities last year's scoring, if I remember correctly, the rank number one was Simla. I think rank number two was Indore, and Mumbai was again, in the top 25 percentile. The exact ranking again, it's in the public domain, and you'll be able to see it. So that will be my short answer. And for the current year also, SDG India Index will be coming up in next 1.5 months, and it'll create a lot of buzz around media reporting, queries being answered by Niti Aayog and so on and so on. So, and similarly, urban index is also on the way. We are in a advanced level of preparation, more or less discussion with stakeholders and everyone is completed, and we are preparing the.
thank you, sir. We also keep a track of the report, escape report, which is, regional body. Are you there? Dr. Singh, has he logged off or?
No, I'm here. I can see you. I can hear you.
So I said I was referring to the escape report.
Escape report, yeah.
Yeah, and there we see the headlines. If we see is that because of the COVID and now with this Russia-Ukraine war, almost all the SDGs have been pushed back in terms of achievement, and it will take many more years beyond 2030. So that's something very, very disturbing, I know. But how are we in terms of India, is in general, if you can address that aspect?
Yeah. So of course, the final report, official report, will come very soon. But frankly speaking, we are not really concerned. Our progress might have been slowed down a little bit, but in absolute number, we are progressing. So in that sense, it won't be alarming that we have gone down in any of the SDG. Out of those 17 goals, there will not be an absolute dip in any of the SDGs. Yes, the progress has slowed down a little bit, which is a concern, and which we consciously understand. Why this would have happened, because of there was COVID, and lots of issues were there. But by and large, things are okay, and it's not an alarming situation for India. That much I can say.
Okay, thank you, sir. Teresa is also online with us. Teresa Fogelberg. She's from Netherlands, and she's the member of the global board of International Institute of Governance and Leadership. Teresa, can you hear me? Okay, maybe she'll come back. So let me come to you, Mukundan. You have any particular questions for Dr. Singh, and then I'll come to Santrupt also.
I have no question, but I just want to compliment Niti Aayog. I want to tell you the reports which have come out are very, very informative. They're easy to read. They're tabulated very well. At least now we can understand where India stands. And of course, in many areas like nutrition, malnutrition, we need to improve. But all I'm saying overall, I must compliment Niti Aayog for the openness and data. There's been a lot of complaints about data availability, but I think you people have sort of plugged the gap. And what you mentioned is absolutely right. I think some of the states are doing exceedingly well, and we need to keep pushing hard in the right direction. I only have a comment. I want to compliment Niti Aayog for the work they're doing. I think I fully agree with you, sir. I think with data and transparency will come action. I think without that, it's one of the most important tool and one of the most important points which Niti Aayog is doing for us. And companies like us work in remote parts of India, and we can clearly see the connection between. I belong to Tata Group, and with the kind of work which we do in partnership with government, I think we want to thank the government for all the support and all the positive engagement they've given. We've involved in many initiatives, including the Jal Jeevan initiative and all the education initiatives, and also the whole aspirational district initiative. and really delighted to continue to work with you. And as Mahindra said, I think partnership with the Mervyn King Academy could also bring a layer of inputs and insights, which I think this partnership will flourish forward. Thank you, Mahindra, for this.
So thank you, Mr. Mukundan. Is Dr. Santruk Mishra there?
Yeah, I would like to just thank our esteemed guest who is coming from Tata. See,
Yes, Mr.
let me with all the humility say that Niti Aayog is only the anchor. All of us help. You have been helping us in this data collection and dissemination, taking it up to the last mile also. And all our reports, we always say that this is collaboration of Niti Aayog and all our partners, including multilateral agencies and many of the civil society organization. Tata Trust. I'm also advisor education, and we have lots of initiatives going on with Tata Trust in aspirational districts, and I understand the kind of resources they are able to provide us in those remotest of the districts. And from Niti Aayog side also, I must thank all of you. And as far as this measurement and improvement is concerned, earlier CEO Amitabh Kant used to say, um, you can improve only if you can measure. And we believe in that. And even if that measurement is not perfectly fine to start with, but at least we'll know incrementally where we are going. So if our baseline measurement is not perfect, we take that, and this was the philosophy of Mr. Khan. कि अगर 90% ठीक है तो let's move on. Even if it is 90% correct, let's move on because next year we'll know, right? Because we have already done the baseline. So at least we'll know where we are going. We are going up or down. So thank you so much. And we would be very happy to, partner with all our esteemed guests in any of the initiatives that we take up. Thank you.
I'll come to Shubhranshu in a minute, but before that, let me introduce the man himself to you, Dr. Singh, uh, Mr. Mervyn King. He's the former judge of Supreme Court of South Africa. Mervyn, and he has been the chairman of the Global Advisory Board of Asian Center for Corporate Governance and Sustainability for last 21 years, sir. And therefore we thought that it is in order to perpetuate his memory and for the work that he's done globally. He has been on several committees of United Nations and in governance and sustainability, all the bodies internationally which are there creating framework for reporting sustainability like GRI, IIRC. He has chaired them all. And now he is the chairman emeritus. So therefore, we thought it appropriate, our Global Advisory Board thought it appropriate to create a Mervyn King Academy for Sustainable Development in Asia 3 years ago in 2019. So, Mervyn, just say hi to Dr. Singh. He is advisor to Niti Aayog, which have briefed you, is the think tank of India and nodal body for SDGs progress in India.
Yes, well, I just echo what's been said about your presentation, Dr. Singh. I found it elucidating and very informative about India and India's national development goals. I think very few people around the world are aware that you've got national development goals in India. And your report, as you presented, was very, as I say, elucidating. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. It's a great encouragement for us here in Niti Aayog. Coming from you, that you appreciate our work, and I can assure you that Niti Aayog will take this initiative further, and will take views of all our well wishers while we take this journey of achieving SDG goals. Thank you so much.
Dr. Singh, we have with us Shubhranshu Patnaik. He is the partner of Deloitte, and Deloitte is also one of the founding organizations for Mervyn King Academy for Sustainable Development in Asia. And actually, very interestingly, he is also the decarbonization and energy transition leader for Deloitte Asia Pacific. So I would just request Shubhranshu, to if you have any question or brief comment to make.
No, I think I'll echo Mr. Mukundan's and Dr. King's compliments, sir. Great report. We've obviously been following the series of reports that you bring out every year. Uh, One of the things that I thought I'll inquire with you is, when we do work with states, and this is great from the perspective of competitive federalism, as you put it, and getting data out to the states for them to action upon. But do you see a possibility of states benefiting more in terms of having an institution which works in a more cross-cutting manner? Because SDGs are more cross-cutting in nature, and the central government possibly benefits from an institution of Niti's stature. Similar institutions at the state levels probably don't exist. So I would certainly want to hear your thoughts on that in terms of whether states also need to have institutions which are more long-term oriented in nature and are looking at cross-cutting themes which are development oriented.
Yeah. I think on this, Niti Aayog, since its inception, has been thinking that if we have shifted from planning to more strategic and cross-cutting kind of activity through Niti Aayog for Government of India, we need similar institutions at the state level. And if you have been following news, I think about a couple of weeks ago, there was a full-fledged interview of our new CEO, Mr. Parmeshwar Araya, where he said that Niti Aayog is planning to set up Niti-like institutions in the states, where we will not only help them in setting it up, we will actually provide them resources and knowledge partners also. And in this pursuit, last week our entire team was in Maharashtra. They interacted with the Honorable CM and Deputy CM, and Maharashtra made an announcement that they will come up with a institute like Niti, and they'll call it Mitra, Maharashtra Institution for Transformation. So these initiatives are going on. Karnataka has already announced. In Assam, they already have State Innovation and Transformation Ayog, and in many other states, this initiative has already started. And you have rightly said that if in Government of India we have an agency or a government think tank which works in these cross-cutting areas and has a more strategic and long-term vision, we do understand that we need similar institutions in the states, and we are moving in that direction. And states have been, very openly accepting our offer, whether they are, the states are being ruled by, X party, Y party, Z party. We sent letter to all our honorable vice chairman wrote letter to all the chief ministers, and immediately, we got replies from most of the states that yes, please help us in setting up this institution, and we are in that process of doing this. Yeah, thank you so much.
Mahendra, can I make a suggestion to Dr. Prem on this point?
Sure.
Yeah, see, I'm glad you mentioned the issue of Maharashtra, sir. I think I just want to make a suggestion. Most states already have institutions which are actually floundering. For example, Maharashtra has Maharashtra Economic Development Council, which was actually founded by Dr. Gadgil, who was one with the Planning Commission, the predecessor of Niti Aayog, which is here. I think if we can rejuvenate many of these institutions across states, every state has got, I think if you just go back, but I think they were never given the importance which the way Niti Aayog has been given because of its centrality and connection. If at the state leadership they give importance and you give them the support and tools, I think we could rejuvenate many of the institutions which were set up already. And I think rather than create, for example, Niti Aayog was a transformation of an existing institution. I think we should think in those lines rather than create new institutions. So hopefully this is a suggestion, nothing more. I just wanted to say that we have already created the backbone. I think some of this backbone needs to be rejuvenated. That's all I would say. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for this suggestion. I think broadly we agree with what you are saying. That is why we are not trying to craft or create new organizations. They used to have some planning boards. Now in Maharashtra, if we have a much more interesting organization, which is already working, we will definitely take your suggestion, and we'll take it up with the government of Maharashtra. Thank you so much.
No, but I think regardless of that suggestion, Mukundan, I know at the government level, what I am quite excited about it, that Maharashtra has already felt excited and they are trying to create a body like Mitra. And if that is so, we would take a sort of initiative to maybe reach out to them, sir. I'll again offline interact with you and get more details. And we would like to build bridges, very early on with that body or whichever body which becomes equally nodal body to take care of these acceleration. Because as they said 2 years ago in 2020, that is the decade of action. Now we have only 8 years of action and we're all running against the time and we have to really work fast on this. So earlier the better under whatever body, the work happens, we're very happy. So I think with this, I would once again like to thank you for taking time out. I know you're on move, and despite of that, you have been able to join us from wherever you are, and you have spent so much time and have also answered our questions, taken our suggestions. So, can we have a round of applause for Dr. Prem Singh, please? Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And on behalf of Niti Aayog, on behalf of our Vice Chairman and CEO Niti Aayog, I thank all of you. The kind of suggestions that you have given, the kind of incisive ideas that you have given, we will definitely work upon that. And from my side, it's an open invitation to all of you that whenever you're in Delhi, you can drop into Niti Aayog to give your suggestions, to have an interaction, or or if you have any idea that you have for improving governance in India, or specifically in SDGs, we will be very happy to interact and take that initiative. Thank you so much, and all the best.
How lovely and how generous of you, Doctor. I will definitely take you up on that invitation and would visit Delhi as soon as possible and meet you, sir. Because we are seriously wanting to do some concrete work in these areas and make our own little contribution in whatever manner we can. Thank you once again, sir, for your time.